Broadcasting to Stoke-on-Trent and the world. This is Six Towns Radio.
You are listening to JP's Dreadgood Radio Show. We are in the greatest hour of radio of all times, the Air Guitar Hour, and I am joined by Stoke-on-Trent royalty, Slash's Uncle Ian. How are you today, sir?
I'm very well, thanks, sir.
Excellent. Well, basically, we've got loads and loads of questions that have come in. I've been inundated with emails, texts, tweets, and I've picked up some of the best ones. So if it's okay with you, we'll get through them and then we'll try and build up a little picture of what it's like to be the coolest uncle in the world. So, well, this one's off Derek in Kidsgrave. He's like, what are your first memories of Slash?
Oh, crikey. Does he mean of Slash as Slash or as little boy?
I think we're going little boy on this one. I think, like when he was first, or when you first met him or anything like that.
I think it was when he stayed with my parents in Blurton, because we got more closer,
Yeah.
I used to take him out and we had a longer time together. Obviously, we never thought he was going to be Slash.
Yeah.
But he was a wild boy, let's put it that way.
A wild boy. Well, you've already rolled on to my second question then.
Oh, he was a wild boy.
Oh, what was he, a troublemaker or?
Well, no, hyperactive.
Hyperactive.
Oh yeah, my mother couldn't cope with him. We had to look after him, and she did her best.
Yeah.
But she got varicose veins, and he was jumping up, and my auntie couldn't, so my cousin looked after him as well.
Yeah.
Oh, he was.
What age was he around when this was? Was this like a toddler or?
He was about 4.
4.
I think he left Blurton when he was 6.
6.
I think his parents went back to America.
Wow. So, we've rolling through on this because you just answered the next question. Because I've had one off you and the same, was he a well-behaved kid? But I'm sure he had a good heart and.
Oh, he was well-behaved. He was just a little terrier.
A little hyperactive.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember in them days, his hair was absolutely thick, massive head of hair, and the clothing he wore, denims and. Well, children over here weren't wearing things like that. So
really, like, Slash has always dressed like Slash does now then. He's always been denims, crazy hair.
Oh, yeah, denims and that. You've got to remember the 60s, he's wearing denims.
That's very true.
Massive mop of hair. I know when one of my girlfriends cut his hair for him, his mother went absolutely mad. What you done to my baby?
He's like Hercules, and he lose a bit of his power. Can you remember when he actually started listening to music, or did you ever think actually he seems quite gifted, or?
Well, I think he got most of his music talent from his father.
Right.
Because when they moved back into America, when they went back to LA, they lived in Laurel Canyon, and there's a lot of artists, just up and coming artists then. So Slash was only a little boy then. And you've got people like Joni Mitchell and, Beatles.
So he's around very influential people then,
just as they were kicking in, yeah.
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 Because I read a thing once, an interview of Slash, and he said he always tried to better himself by putting himself next to a better musician. So he'd always have to compete to try and outgrow them. It's so obviously if he was in this Laurel Canyon and he's got some of the greatest musicians around.
Oh yeah, Jim Morrison. They were just like your starter,
Yeah.
They weren't as big as we know them now.
They actually got,
They were like Gaffin was there, David Gaffin, and he's just starting his posters.
Yeah.
And now Tony ended up doing a lot of work for Joni Mitchell.
And that's your brother and Slash's dad, isn't it?
That is correct, yeah.
Which brings me on nicely to my next question. You've done this before, haven't you?
I have, yes.
I read on Wikipedia both Slash's parents are extremely talented people, and his dad, your brother Anthony, was an artist. He did works for a lot of album covers.
Oh yeah.
And his mother she designed costumes like David Bowie, and said earlier, was it John Lennon as well?
She did work for John Lennon, yeah.
So some
Ringo.
massive names. Did this contribute to a rock and roll household? Were they free with the wind, so to speak?
I would have thought so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, the lovely thing with Tony, when he designed these albums, he used to send them to Blurton, and I was the one that got them. And
oh, really?
He used to get these artists I never heard of.
Yeah.
Davy Blue, I never heard of him.
They're probably worth a lot of money now.
Well, he used to play backing with Dylan apparently.
Really? Are they still in your loft?
Oh yeah, all the records.
Got a bit of a pension plan there.
Yeah, and he did, when he designed them, always his name was on them.
Yeah.
He did no end of work for Joni.
So they're both very renowned people. Like, so Slash has been born into this.
Oh yeah,
creative hub, hasn't he?
Definitely. So he wouldn't have lasted in Blurton.
No, I don't think many people can really. I'm not bad mouthing Blurton live on the radio. There, it's a very nice place. If you like roads and Wanton Park's all right, isn't it? Just down the road.
Potholes.
Potholes, lots of potholes. But we've got another question from Kian, and he says, out of all of Slash's music, what makes you think that's my nephew wrote that? Are you particularly proud of anything that he's released?
That's a good question, that is. I couldn't really say. There's certain songs that I do like, because there's one on when he did Snake Pit. There's one called Mean Bone. And I asked him if he'd put that into his gig, and he says, yeah, he will.
Well, that's excellent.
So, and I do like that one.
There's not many people out there who could just say to Slash, will you play this for us, and it'll get done. I'd feel really cool if that happened to me. I'd be way too big for my shoes. but is there any... I've got another Slash question here. I've got loads of paper. I'm really sorry about this. But, out of all the time... When you first saw Slash live, obviously you went over to America and Guns N' Roses started appearing in the scene. When did you first know or think to yourself, actually, Slash is a really big star? He's really taken off. Was there a point in where you thought that?
Well, when he went back to America as a little boy, we just lost contact. Tony just stopped. Yeah. Everything dried up. He didn't send the albums, and I think he just thought that was it.
Yeah. And
it was my brother. There was an article in the Sentinel, and it was a book called Living in the Fast Lane.
Right.
And Davey brought it in. It was in a pub, by the way.
That's where every old men do their business.
And he said, just read that, Living in a Fast Lane. And I was reading it, and he says, doesn't it ring any bells? And it was saying Slash, whose dad was an artist, Anthony Hudson. I said, God, it's our...
Yeah.
It's our soul.
And then obviously, when you see quite magazines and stuff like that.
Well, what it came was that we read that he was coming over. The Guns were coming over to Wembley.
Oh right.
And David got in touch with their PAs.
Yeah.
And said, would it be all right if the Hudson family came down to see them reunion? Right. And that's how the reunion kicked in.
That's crazy.
They met Brian May there, actually.
Oh, really? So everyone was there, all the stars. So really, you. In a sense, you saw Slash move away as a small child,
yes, yeah.
And he came back a man who was playing Wembley.
Yeah.
That must have been a massive leap through times. Yeah, very proud moment for all the family, I should think. Are you all rock fans as well?
Oh yeah, I'm a big rock fan.
Yeah, it's because I did have another question. It's what does Uncle Ian listen to when he's not listening to Slash?
That's a good point.
And that's off Graham.
I like Aerosmith. I like some of the new stuff. A bit of Zeppelin, the
Who. You there.
The Who and...
So you got basically all the rock
Stones.
gods, really. Stones, definitely.
Love the Stones.
Me and you could get on. I think we should go out more.
Yeah,
I like your music taste. It's nice. We've got another question in. It's from George in Biddulph, and he says, do you think that these Stoke-on-Trent City Council should I can't say the word. Yeah, should they have something to do with a statue and it was talked about the Slash and Lemmy statue? And do you think there should be something in Stoke-on-Trent for? Because obviously you got Stanley Matthews, who's obviously an amazing football talent. And he's got his statue.
Yeah, he was born in Stoke, wasn't he?
Yeah, but I think Slash as well. The people of Stoke. I know Slash wasn't there in Stoke all of his life, but everyone holds on to him because he's such an icon. And, parts of his childhood were spent in Stoke. So, parts of his personality would have been crafted in Stoke.
Yeah, you've got a point there. If the fans, that's what they wanted, I'd be all with them.
I think we should start a petition.
I think the reason Slash calls loves Stoke-on-Trent, because he remembers Stoke-on-Trent.
Yeah. What was he? Do you know anything that he remembers about Stoke-on-Trent?
Oh, he remembers loads.
Does he?
He remembers, because with Mum and my auntie, they used to do a lot of baking.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he loved that, and old-fashioned, mince pies at Christmas, and he was all into that.
I can't. It's crazy, really. That so he probably did like the happiest like family times and all the families together. He actually views Stoke-on-Trent as this like happy period in his life where.
Oh yes, he loves it, and that's why he always says, he is a Stoke-on-Trent guy.
Yeah, so
that's the reason he says that.
Does he support any football teams for Stoke or?
Well, I think he's a Stoke. I think he's a bit of a Stoke. I mean, cousin, when we went to see him last time, went to see one of his gigs, she gave him a Stoke T-shirt,
Oh yeah.
So he was holding that up, and I think that's in one of the Stoke magazines.
Oh really? They're getting around everywhere. I had a tweet in off it's a fan page for // We Trust.
Oh yes.
And you kind of answered the question online, but how did you feel when it goes back to when you saw Slash coming over to Wembley, and when you stood there and watched these thousands and thousands of people watching him? Could you believe that was your nephew, or did you think, wow, I know this guy and he's made it, or did you think this is just purely unbelievable?
Probably a bit of both.
Yeah.
A bit of unbelievable and that, yeah. But, it did take a bit to sink in, but didn't take long.
Yeah, and living the high life.
Well, the high life, I mean, we had the Royal Box.
Oh, really? You can't go much higher than that, can you? That's amazing.
So we were looking down on the Royal, from the Royal Box.
That's crazy. Well, we've got one last question for you, and it's off Alison, and she says, if you could put an aid package together of Stoke-on-Trent goodies for Slash and send it over to him, what would you put in there? Just Stoke-on-Trent, memorabilia. Would you use anything? Oat cakes, example?
Well, we've sent him the Six Towns Radio oat cake T-shirt. He's had
Excellent.
that. And he's got his Stoke City football thing now. He's got that, so.
Oh, I've just seen a picture of it actually. Slash, and yeah. So I've got Terry Bossom's also sitting with me. It says Slash. He's got basically Slash, the king of rock and roll, is holding a Stoke City football shirt saying Slash is a Stokey. I think that's a proud moment for anybody from Stoke there. So does it? One more question.
Yeah.
And it's come up loads of times from that many people that I can't read every single name out. It's like, what does Slash have on his oat cakes? They're dying to know. Is he a vegetarian? Is he a cheese man? Cheese and bacon?
I couldn't really tell. I think over there the oat cakes are like biscuit.
Oh right.
I don't think they're the same sort of oat cakes that we have over here.
Yeah.
So because there's so many different kind of oat cakes.
That's true. Yeah.
I've never really asked him about what he has on his.
That's be the next time I see him. Because we can wrap this interview up because you spoke to Slash just last night, didn't you?
Yeah, we had a text off him last night. Yes.
And I've got this text here, so this is potentially one of the last thing that Slash has sent out to England.
It is, yes.
And this is an update. I'd say an exclusive update. You've heard it here first. And Slash said he's still in the studio and he's finished all the basic tracks, and they're now doing overdubs on the next release. And he's really happy that everyone's doing great over here. So there is something coming new from Slash then. There's a new record out from him.
Yeah, a new record. And the last message I had before that was saying, we'll see you soon.
Excellent. So
Slash, there could be a tour lined up.
Excellent. Do you reckon he'll ever play Victoria Hall again?
I hope he will.
That would be amazing.
It was a great night.
A great night indeed. Well, thank you very much for your time, Uncle Ian. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm going to play this out with some of Slash and Miles Kennedy with Halo.
Right. Bye.